There have been many iterations of the Mummy on the big screen, ranging from black and white films to dark universe building garbage. Today I viewed the now classic 1999 Brendan Fraser action film versus whatever the hell Tom Cruise was just in, on Movie Feuds. Brendan Fraser may be the most everyman man there's ever been. He's relatable, charming, goofy, serious at times, and most importantly, likable. He was relatively unknown still when his movie hit, so there was no preconceived notions. The 2017 version, however, is an entirely different ball of dicks. Tom Cruise is probably the least relatable person on the big screen. That doesn't mean he's bad to watch, quite the contrary. He is the definition of a blockbuster actor, yet somehow he feels way out of place in this world. Fraser gives off an Indiana Jones-ish vibe with his devil-may-care approach to things and his penchant for getting into dangerous situations. Much like me on Sundays at the retirement home for bingo night. Watch out, Gladys. I've got your number. Cruise is just Cruise, running from set piece to set piece with no substance behind any of it. Back to the 99 cast though, they're equally as solid as Fraser. Rachel Weisz plays the love interest and she's the full package. Beauty, brains, some great comedic timing, and a perfect opposite of Brendan's Rick O'Connell. John Hannah as the bumbling brother Jonathan is a nice addition, and Kevin O'Connor is terrific as the despicable Benny. Unlike Rachel's character Evelyn, actress Annabelle Wallis as Jenny is the most non-character ever conceived. She's essentially one of those stock actresses you find in an old Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. They are only there to get banged when he's not killing bad guys. He goes over to a log cabin, lays her down on a fur rug, makes his way with her, and then he goes back to kill more people. Wash, rinse, repeat. And I've watched every one of those movies multiple times. Celebrate the entire catalog. And then there's New Girl's Jake Johnson, who provides some really odd comic relief as a zombie/spirit. I'm really unclear of what he actually was in the film. It makes little sense, but you don't care all the same, so it's a wash. Let's get to the main attractions, which are the mummies themselves. Why is Sophia's version so damn hot? I think I'm supposed to be scared of her, but honestly, I'm just waiting with masturbated breath for her to show up again. She was fine in Star Trek Beastie Boys edition as an alien, but yeah, this was just a complete miss all around, and it's not even the actress's fault. She's trying her best. The script's just shit. Arnold Vosloo as Imhotep is far and away better, stealing every ounce of the screen with his presence. He's a commanding force, much like I am on Saturday nights at the retirement center during dance competitions. I'm there often. Arguably too often. His backstory is far more sympathetic too, as he tries to resurrect his murdered lover. 2017's Amanette basically needs to just stab any dude she meets, from what I can tell. She's lucky I wasn't around, or I might try to stab her back. With my penis. It was a highbrow show. Thanks for watching. I just rewatched the 1999 Mummy and I can't even pretend to tell you what the plot was. I know our main mummy betrayed the king by banging the dude's bride, and she was very savagely murdered. He got a band of brothers together to break her body out of the kingdom and take her to a nearby tomb to bring her back from the dead. This did not fly with the pharaoh. I called him a king earlier. I assume that they mean the same thing. Probably not. I know nothing of history or anything of the world. Let's keep going. Pharaoh ordered his men to mummify Imhotep in the worst way possible. This came at a price though. If the mummy is awoken from his special place in hell, he will spread havoc across the land with his mummy abilities. All pretty standard stuff. This of course happens when the O'Connell and Carnahan siblings start digging alongside another group of plunderers. Once the mummy rises, it's a non-stop ride full of action, creative situations such as a giant sandstorm, and some really wonderful visuals. 2017's version is pretty much the opposite across the board. Nick and Chris, two military men in the middle of a mission, leave their post to go steal valuable items from a nearby town. Seems like something the generals would frown upon, possibly hand out a good old-fashioned court-martial. Not here though. No, instead their punishment is to go down into a deep hole and find more treasure. Logic? It's here that Nick awakens the mummy by shooting a rope that for some reason raises a sarcophagus. Not really sure why this elaborate mechanism was put into place, considering the people that put her there didn't want her to get out, but I digress. The twist in this version is Nick can't die now, much like Tom Cruise in real life. He's been cursed for freeing the mummy and needs to get a blade shoved through his chest to break the spell or something. There is a fun spot in the middle of this picture. I really emphasized fun so you can know there was some sarcasm being applied there. Where Universal tries to build up their dark universe. Someone threw a wheelbarrow full of money at Russell Crowe to be the Nick Fury of this franchise too, to phone in his role and give the audience line after line of exposition. Bad pacing and dialogue set aside, at least the effects are good, right Adam, you ask? No, they're not. Timbre, let's go on to the round 3. How is it that a movie almost 20 years older can look so much better? Is it because they cared? Probably. That's almost entirely why, I would think. From the makeup on the mummy to the cool plagues he delivers, it all looks very good. Well, maybe not very good, but it works, damn it. Since director Steven Sommers made a blockbuster action flick along the lines of an Indiana Jones or a Pirates of the Caribbean, the dated CGI is easier to handle. There is a B-movie feel to it all, especially during intentionally campy moments, yet there is still some genuinely creepy scenes thrown in too. The new version's lifeless and reeks of studio paint by numbers from beginning to end. There is no vision in Alex Kurtzman's picture. The only moment that stood out was a cool little plane crash segment, but that could have been in anything. It didn't need to be in a mummy movie as it has nothing to do with anything else at all. Could have been in one of Tom Cruise's many Mission Impossible films. Or Fast and the Furious. The rest of the action is just run-of-the-mill. For some reason it takes place in Europe too and not Egypt. Because why? Don't worry, they did find a way to recycle the Fantastic 99 Sandstorm sequence for no reason at all other than nostalgia. Remember how much better this was before? Perhaps the one saving grace is the music in 2017, but it doesn't stand a chance next to Jerry Goldsmith's, bringing a great, grand, and melodramatic score. Brian Tyler's work on the new flick is far from bad. It's just a shame it's being used in such a muddled mess of a production. Let's wrap this up. It's a mummy pun. It was an angry mummy pun. There are no fair fights in this world, kids, and this episode's no exception. The 99 Mummy is a great example of a blockbuster done right, with memorable sets, a classic villain, and a terrific lineup of characters. The 2017 Mummy is a great example of Hollywood continuing to be out of touch with the mass audience. Once again cashing in on name recognition and forcing a universe instead of letting it grow organically. I gave you my take, now it's your turn. Comment below, vote for your winner, and remember, this is more than just reviews, this is Movie Feuds. And I really miss Brendan Fraser in big blockbusters, I really do. Really do. Thanks for watching the video. Feel free to check me out on social media platforms for credibility purposes. Intern Sheila should be putting up some graphics for you to digest, I believe. Otherwise, you'll be out on the curb like your mom. Gotta move on. You can also check me out on patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. Throw me a buck or two if you want. I run this channel alone. It's almost a full-time job, honestly. Thanks for your time. Sheila, the graphics, now.